everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to another conversation where we are going to deep dive into the world of Mahabharat. I'm sure all of us here, irrespective of our age, we've grown up watching Mahabharat on TV, right? Reading the epics is a different story altogether, but even today there are new versions coming up, authentic original storytelling coming up, and the TV as a channel has always given us immense opportunities to explore all these epics, because it's not every day we are going to sit and read about all of this. So today I have with me an author who has completely reimagined Mahabharat, how it is going to be, the ancient epic being completely retold in the modern way. Mahabharat 2025, and I'm so happy to have you on
I'm
stage,
so happy to be
Divyansh.
here. First of all, cheers to the crowd. I heard it was quite bad today morning with the rains, the thunder, and everything. All of you who have showed up to this beautiful festival, can we just have a clap for each one of us here?
Okay, now starting with the conversation.
Yes.
The book is titled Mahabharat 2025. What exactly do you mean by the title?
Um, so this was the basic one-liner idea which came into my head when I started, before I even started imagining what the book could be, was what if the Mahabharat happens right now, here in 2025? And that is where the title was born, that is where the premise of the story was born. Um, and this was before I even started sharing Mahabharat stories on the internet. And that kind of inspired me, to just start an Instagram page and start narrating Mahabharat in my own way, in a new way, connect with the Gen Z, the millennials. Um, and it just stemmed from there.
Beautiful. So, once you've started your writing journey, because we all know you as an Instagram influencer with your two amazingly brilliant pages, very engaging, amazing content. I personally have been following the pages since years. So, how different is your journey as a writer and as an influencer?
Oh, I think it's very different because I've struggled more as a writer than I've struggled as a content creator, I would say. I've been writing since I was like 17, 18 years old, and I've been writing online since I started. I used to post on Quora, then I moved to Instagram later on, and it always was, writing is a very lonely profession. No one wants to read your stories. Even your family won't be willing to read. They'll just say one story, two stories, but you can't just show them all of it. Um, it's a very tough task. But then again, I started writing online and I started getting these critiques from the people on the internet who were reading 15, 20-minute short stories on Quora. And that kind of really motivated me that, yes, people still want to read my stories. And yeah, it just started from there. Content creation career, I'll tell this, it was a very stupid thought in my head. Very early on, I got this, that if I have to become a commercially successful author, I have to have social media, I have to have that kind of a presence. I have to put my content out, which should speak for me before I could, just, if me talking, no one would know. But yeah, if your content is speaking, if it's getting the views, it's getting that, people know what you're saying, when you're saying, what you mean by that. And that has a very big impact on, in terms of sales. So as a 20-year-old also, I had this thought that I have to be viral, I have to be an influencer or something so that I can sell my books eventually. And yeah, the book just came live the day before. It's already around, I think, the top 50 on Amazon. And I hope that whatever stupid plan I had thought when I was 20 years old, it's kind of working.
The 20-year-old's idea was not at all stupid, because in fact, as a book marketer, this is something that we always recommend authors to do, that if you have your book coming out in the next 6 months, please invest your time on social media, because that's a place where a lot of readers today also spend time. We take
Exactly.
Instagram and Facebook seriously when it comes to book recommendations altogether. So in this journey, while watching one of your content itself, I remember seeing a post which talked about a very young Divyansh, a very young boy, I think in early teens, who had a dream of getting a book published, getting a deal from Penguin
Penguin
Random
Random
House
House.
specifically. So, how has your life turned out to be, and how do you feel when all those dreams or the wishes that you had during those early teens is now manifested and real?
So all of these things have just happened in the last few months. Again, as a kid, I was really into Penguin classics. I was going in my school library. I would see Penguin logo in all books, and yeah, it's one of the most prestigious publishing houses in the world. You want to be a Penguin author. So that was again a super childhood dream that I want to see my name on the cover of a book which has the logo of Penguin Random House. Um, Strangely, like after I published two books when I was 20 years old. I self-published them. They did well, whatever I could market online. But I wasn't still getting deals from traditional publishers. And then of course when you're growing up, career, writing mein banega, nahi banega, parents are also on your head and bunch of things. So I moved to screenwriting. I was really invested in that. Last year, you know, things transpired, stars kind of aligned, and within I think 2 or 3 months of speaking with the people from Penguin, I had a book deal in my hand. So it really just works in mysterious ways. But
Congratulations, manifestation indeed works in mysterious ways. So, in your content, when you started off with your Instagram page, Fiction with Divyansh,
yeah.
you were giving those 1 minute short fictions, 1 minute short horror stories. So, when you write, so this is about your writing journey.
Yeah.
Writing a 1 minute content, even though that has a start, middle, high, and an end, and when you write a full-fledged novel, which I'm assuming is going to be series as well.
Yeah.
So how has that writing journey been different for you?
It again, like since I've been writing online since the start, the criticism is instant. You cannot get away with just some family person telling you, "नहीं अच्छा लिखा है, but थोड़ा ऐसा हो सकता था." People are brutal online, and that has shaped my writing a lot. Because if you read this book, and you have started reading already, I know. Once you start reading, it just goes very fast because people don't realize that it has been structured in a way that I have tried as much as possible to eliminate the boringness out of it. Um, there are certain skills I have picked up because I've been writing for almost 8 years now online, and you know what current generation wants to read with the shorter attention spans. With the phone one vibration is going to be there, and they'll put the book down and not pick it up for another 2 days, 5 days. Um, it is a challenge, but I seriously work like a scientist on my prose. Ye nahi work karega, ye karega. I need to cut this short. I need to extend this. I need to deep dive into a certain thing. I don't want to describe certain things so much because people are going to get bored, so I'll cut that short. So there are a bunch of things I do with my writing. But yeah, I think it has shaped up my narrative skills to match the current readers and what kind of content they want to read.
Which has been successfully done, I would say, yes. Because once you start reading the book, it's a little difficult to keep the book down. Good and a bad thing. Bad because, yeah, you have work also. So, but good job with that. Now, coming to the book and some of the main characters in the book, can you just give us a slight brief about the main characters? I'm especially curious about the main guy, the protagonist here, who's also Divyansh.
Yeah. Again, this was one of my stupid things. Whenever I start writing a book, I do not think much about new character names because when you are a writer in this age, you want your character's names to be very cool, very fancy, this, that. I just put my name as a placeholder for the protagonist, and then I just move with the story. Um, Gratefully, the story was turning out to be so good that at one point I realized, okay, this is the character. Now I cannot just change this image from my head. So my name became the protagonist's name. Um, Other than that, let me just quickly tell you about the book. Um, what if Mahabharat was not the end, but just the beginning? And what if Mahabharat happened in 2025? These were the two things which sort of started this whole journey. Uh, there is this concept in Hinduism where we have parallel universes, infinite parallel universes, Anant Brahman, and you are born, there are your replicas in every universe, but your actions, your decisions define your journey, define your destination. And this concept is very cool. Like, for people my age who have watched so much Marvel movies, there's that. We understand the multiverses, but in our scriptures, it's already there. So it was very easy to me. When I started writing, I was very clear that I do not want to touch the existing Mahabharat at all. I do not want to tweak even a single thing. So that is there. But again, how do you bring Mahabharat to the modern times? So that's where this story starts. Imagine you are a 18-year-old nervous kid who is seeing your grandfather walk through the misty woods of Rishikesh, and he's not looking at you. He's just walking like in a trance, and he walks into Ganga, and he's going down, he's going down, he's going down, and then he just drops. And you chase after him. It's your grandfather. You lost your parents in Kedarnath flood. You don't have any other family. This is the only person you have. You chase after him, but he never surfaces. At the same time, suddenly there are swirling whirlpools that are forming around you, and this gigantic whirlpool just sucks you in. Blackness. When you wake up, you are in the middle of the Mahabharat war. There are chariots going around, war elephants charging at you, flying arrows, handsome warriors atop golden chariots shooting 100 arrows at the same time, thousands of people dying, cries everywhere, dust, smoke, fires in the air. So that's where you are. You have absolutely no idea as an 18-year-old how you ended up there. Suddenly, this mysterious god spots you, and you don't know who he is, but he just looks at you, swipes once, and you're back. And you have no idea what just happened. You think it's a hallucination, your grandfather just drowned, you don't know. Now, in that time, so what this whirlpool was, it was a gateway. And in that time, you crossed over to a parallel universe where the Mahabharat war is still happening. Now, the time that you were there, the gateway was open, so some warriors from that Mahabharat escaped and entered our world. And when you came back, the gateway is closed, so they're trapped here. They are among us. Now, 10 years have passed. You're a budding influencer, because the character is obviously based after me when I started writing. And there are these Mahabharat warriors among us. You don't know who they are, but they have assimilated. They've learned our languages, they know our customs, they know history, they know what happened with the Mahabharat here. And these guys are here, and they might be sitting here, they might be reading the book, anything could happen. And that is where the story starts. You are an orphan, but at the same time, you don't know that your family has a legacy. Your great ancestors were blessed by Lord Krishna himself, and there's a touch of divinity which runs in your blood. There are secrets that your family have known that is the answer to a lot of chaos that is about to happen, and you're unaware of it all. So now that these warriors have crossed here and there is this cosmic imbalance, the world is about to end in just 3 days. You have absolutely no idea about the secrets of your ancestors, which could actually help in saving it. And a lot of chaos is about to happen. And that's how the story starts. And that's how the main character, which is Divyansh, goes on this quest. He meets a couple of other characters. There's Agastya, who is a Gandharva, which is a mythical race in our scriptures. There's old friends. There's a cute dog, which is very central to the story. And it's this group's journey which leads them on this great quest to stop the arrival of the new Mahabharat, which is prophesied to end the world.
Wow, I just got goosebumps. You just literally gave the trailer in a verbal form. He has a trailer which went viral just last night.
Yeah.
And you just open your Instagram and search the word Mahabharat. That is what is going to see. And that is one trailer you shouldn't miss. You just got the verbal description of the trailer from the author's side itself. But brilliant. I'm very curious to know how and what was Divyansh able to save the world. But, okay, keeping the character Divyansh aside and talking to this Divyansh, what inspired you to pick Mahabharat?
I was going through a reading slump, honestly. My fiction page on Instagram had really blown at the time. And I was doing well. I was enjoying the success of a viral creator. But again, I was feeling guilty because I was a voracious reader back in school. And then for the last few months, I had not read a single book. So I was feeling guilty. And, when you are in doubt or something, you turn to these magnificent scriptures Mahabharat, I personally believe, is the greatest story ever told. It's the greatest epic ever written. And so I just turned to it to get inspired for storytelling. And when I started reading it, and I was like, why not just tell this to the followers as well? So that's how the new page was born, Mahabharat with Divyansh. And that, within the first 10 or 11 days, it touched 100,000 followers. So that's when I realized people are so much interested in Mahabharat, the young people. Um, and that's how I think the idea, I already had this idea of the book in my head, but when that page went viral, when people started appreciating what I was telling, my narrations and everything, then it just became, I have this great story in my head, let me just write it down. And yeah, I think that's where the book was born.
That's amazing. I mean, as a reader, you picking up Mahabharat, or as an author, you trying to write about it. I'm sure that's two different journeys, because I can just read or watch the series and just stay there. I'm not here to reiterate or build something which might be read by millions later. So there is a lot of research that needs to be put into before you have to either build your content on social media, for that matter, or even for the book. So how is your research process like? Where do you go? How do you research? Does the book, the epic books that we all own and have at our home, is that enough for us to really deep dive?
So basically, again, when I started the Mahabharat page, I had to read Mahabharat from multiple sources, from multiple authors, so that I could get the whole perspective. And that's when I found out about, there are so many different versions, some that are very popular, some that are not that popular. Um, there are, so because again, Mahabharat is a story of this whole nation. Um, the scriptures are also different. There are certain elements which you'll find in the northern recensions, which is very popular in the north. In the south, there's the story is similar, but there might be some differences, right? So I had to pick authors from south. C. Rajagopalachari's Mahabharata, it's very popular. It's very good read for someone who does not want to read, say, 6,000, 7,000 pages. It's like, I think, a couple of 100 or 200 pages. So that's one I started with. And then there is Bori Mahabharat, which is the critical edition, which is, it's said that it's the most accurate to the original scriptures, because there's a lot of research which went in it. And then Bibek Dev Roy's Mahabharat, K.M. Ganguly's Mahabharat, which is one of the oldest translations done. So again, I've been reading from different sources, from different era. Someone is 2 centuries old, some which is just 10 years old. So that brought a lot of perspective. That brought a lot more power to my narrations when I started sharing these things online. Because, of course, when you're talking about such issues online, but such stories online, you have to be right. You have to pick the right sources. So I've been very adamant since the start that I need to get my sources straight. And because I was already researching so much for the page, it seeped very easily into my novels. So it wasn't that much of a hard research work for me.
Interesting. So we all know Mahabharata till the Kurukshetra war. But what happened after the war? How many of you are very well versed with what really happened after the war? Is there anybody here who can very confidently say, I know what happened after the war? Nobody? Okay, there are a few hands here and there. That's great. But Divyansh, I should take this
action
opportunity.
pieces are till the war.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the story ends for most people. Then it's a bit of diplomatic thing. Then after that, the travel to Swarglok, the Pandavas falling down one by one. Yudhishthira is the only one who's allowed, and that's like a very beautiful uh, end to such a great story, I would say.
No, it's sad. I mean, even in Ramayana, for that matter, after the war at Lanka, and then Sita, Ram, and Lakshmanji all came back. After that, what? A lot of us actually don't know what really happened. And similar is the scenario with Mahabharata
I think
also.
also it has to do with the content we have been watching, because most of us don't read, especially Ramayana, Mahabharata, the books which are a bit thick in size. So most of, I think, people of my age who are interested in Mahabharata, they have watched the TV show, I think 2013 Mahabharata on Star Plus. And the ones from my dad's generation, they have watched the Doordarshan Mahabharata, and these two are quoted as the sources ki yehi hua tha. But then again, when you start reading different versions from different places, new stories emerge, new beliefs emerge, certain people challenge it. Um, a lot of stuff happens.
It's interesting because now that we have somebody who seems to know a lot about what happened after the Kurukshetra war, and somebody who is a really good storyteller, shouldn't we just make use of that? Yeah?
No,
So,
no, no.
okay, coming back to your content, I haven't finished the book yet, so I'm not
Yes.
gonna give spoilers from here, but coming from your social media, I've seen content that you've created about a temple in somewhere in the Himalayas
In
where
Uttarakhand, yeah.
it's supposedly the place that Draupadi
Draupadi
rested
rested.
her final breath. So
Yeah.
that journey of the Pandavas and Draupadi
Oh, this is a
after the
very
Kurukshetra
this is a
war,
very fun story.
I think we are up for some storytelling.
This is a very fun
Please.
story. So I've been going on Himalayan treks every winters for the last 4 or 5 years, and every time my luck was so bad that I would wish there would be snowfall. I had not seen snow till this Feb or March. I went in March. I had not seen snowfall till then, and every time I would tell my friends, "Yaar, bus is bar," and every time we'll go, we'll just find some snow patches, and that's where we'll do our Instagram photo shoots, and that would be it. This time, the plans were delayed. We were going to go in March, right? And so right after Shimla, it's like 2 hour drive from there. There is this beautiful village called Narkanda. It's quite popular. And this peak is there called Hatu Peak, where this temple is. And I was really interested in that place. So I just urged my friends that we are in Shimla, let's just go and travel there. If you would have gone one day before, we wouldn't have found any snow. If we would have gone one day after, we wouldn't have found any snow. It was that very day. We started our trek at like 12 in the afternoon with the sun shining upon us. It was very hot. Just 2 hours later, I don't know what happened. And this is mid-March, right around Holi. You don't expect snowfall there. And this time there was an entire snowstorm. Within half an hour, things changed. Clouds came, winds blew. I don't know what was happening. And yeah, there was snowfall. And I genuinely felt it's magical. And I was honestly going there to pray for the success of my book. So again, a little bit of that belief was there as well. And that is when I went. There is this temple dedicated to Mandodari, which is the wife of Ravan actually, which is right there at the top. And this place is believed that when the Pandavas were going to Swarglok, when one by one they were falling down. So this is where Draupadi came and rested. And yeah, it's a beautiful place. There's a spot there which is marked that Bhim used to cook food there while they were in Agyatwas. And it was a really exciting experience for me.
Amazing. I think this is my personal opinion though. There are thankfully some content creators who have created content about what happened after the war and this journey that the Pandavas and Draupadi is taking all the way to attain their, I cannot tell it enlightenment nor their end. I don't know what exactly to call it, but yeah, salvation, exactly, attain their salvation. And it's a beautiful journey. And in that journey also, there is a dog who accompanies them. And you just told about, I didn't know about the dog, I haven't reached anywhere there. And you just told about a dog in your book and told it's a very cute dog with very significant relevance in the book. So, why the dog and what's the relevance?
Um, First of all, so during COVID, I got a dog myself, a white Labrador, and I've named him Sherlock. And
We're
he
mixing worlds now.
he has been a big part of my life for the last few years, and I just love him. He's a crazy dog. Um, Also, because again, Mahabharat, there are a lot of things in this where people will find parallels from Mahabharat. Because as a storyteller, you want to challenge yourself to find those parallels. Um they had a Vastraharan incident there. What can we do in 2025? And now it's suddenly, okay, what can you imagine? So there are a lot of things there. And the dog was also, again, because I knew Yudhishthir and the dog went. So that inspiration came here. And so the dog is also a white Labrador. It's called Bafla, which is the dish. I'm a Rajasthani person. It's there in my house almost every Sunday. And my mom wanted to name my dog Bafla.
Oh wait, did you just name the dog after a dish?
No, my mom wanted to.
Okay,
This
it's
one,
like us
yeah,
calling a dog Cookie.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Indian version.
any food item, if you name your dog after it, it's usually gonna be pretty cute. muffin. I don't know.
Oh wow. Okay, no, please, couples here, please don't start naming your spouses after this advice. So hold on to that. But this is great. Thank you so much. So now, once that the book is out, and in Amazon, it's trending. It's number one in multiple categories. It's already in your top 50s in the books category. This is a huge success, Divyansh. How are you still grounded? Why aren't you just flying? How has this experience been for you?
It has been exhilarating, honestly, and like this is any writer's dream to achieve these things in just the first or second day of your launch. Um, at the same time, my phone has been going crazy since last 2 days because the trailer went viral, and then lots of people have been approaching. My publishers have been calling, my agent has been calling, publicist has been calling. So it's been an entire thing for the last 2 days, and I think that's why I'm appreciating being here right now because I just have my phone turned off. Um, I can just sit for 1 hour, just talk whatever I want to without worrying about future may sales, this, that, and all those things. Um, I'm very creatively driven. It shows in my works on Instagram, it showed in the book trailer, it shows in this book. So I think that's what I care about more instead of just the numbers, just the rankings and all. Rankings are obviously to please the publishers. Um, but after
Better
that,
deal next
I'm
time.
very happy with even one person reading the book and liking it. That's my biggest you know
No, that's
thing.
sweet. That's amazing. I mean, that's how it should be also. As readers, we honestly don't care how many copies did you sell because if we like it, we like it. It's going to be as simple as that. So we don't care about your next journey in terms of what is the bigger deal or what is it going to be like, but we are very curious about your creative journey. Where now after this? I'm sure your page is going to continue, but I'm sure this writing is also going to be continuing, and I'm sure you have more deals from Penguin as well. So, from a creative perspective, from a creator perspective, what is your next journey looking like?
Right now, I've been really been experimenting with AI. The kind of images and videos you can imagine, you can create. Again, like as a writer, I genuinely believe the one talent that I was born with was storytelling. Right? I can create the craziest stories since I was a kid. I would be the biggest faker in the class, and the people would always believe me.
I wish I could see one of your old history answer papers.
But um, writing it was a medium for me to get my stories to people, right? So that's why I worked really hard on writing. For last decade, I've been writing online, and it shows now that the writing is refined. I can look back at my old stuff that I was writing, and I can see the difference very clearly. Um, Similarly, with narrations, when I realized that the world is moving from just text to videos, that's when I was like, I have to be facing the camera, I have to be narrating. When I faced the camera for the first time, it was the worst uh, video you could probably watch. Um, there was weird accent, no eye contact, weird face movements, no hand-eye coordination. There's a bunch of stuff, voice modulation, everything that you just pick up when you do it a lot. And of course, being in a public space, when you're just posting your videos online, the first people who always see are your friends, your relatives, and they're the ones who pull your leg the most. So it's just you have to go through that journey as well. And then now with AI, the scope is just um, crazy because I can create Hollywood level kind of visuals just by sitting at my home. And that's why this trailer worked. It blew up. It's like almost, I think, 3 million plus right now in just 1 or 2 days. And people who are watching it, they're like, is it a movie trailer? Uh, so I think this is the thing I really want to work upon. It's quite important in my book as well. Like as you go through the books, at the end of every chapter, you'll find a QR code. And when you scan it, uh, you will find all the relevant artwork for that particular chapter right on your phones.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I'm just experimenting with everything, and I think that's what creative people love. You just love experimenting new things, trying new things out, throw things at the board, see what sticks, and then just hammer down on that. That's basically what I've been up to.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm inspired because I've heard everybody telling consistency is something that you need to keep having, irrespective of what is it that you want to do. It could be for your career success, it could be for trying to write journal every day, it could be for your writing, learning, your social media, whatever it could be. But I think you are a great inspiration to a lot of people for
Thank you so much.
showing how consistency can really pay off, and that's great. But thank you so much for showing us a pathway like that. As somebody, a teenager who dreamt of having a good penguin deal, sitting here with us, and it's a proud moment for all of us. And I would love to ask the audience now, I think maybe one question from the audience, if you have one.
Divyansh, first and foremost, heartiest congratulations. You know,
Thank
at
you so
this
much.
young age, you've achieved so much. And actually, the fact that you can correlate, you know, with the audience just now, that itself is a big achievement, what I feel personally, and especially at your young age. So, like, are you planning to have this book made into some kind of a movie or a series? You know, because that will help the audience to
Yeah.
connect faster. Nobody has patience, you know, to go through most of, I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but quite a few of us don't have the patience to go through that book, you know. So if you could have it as, and the way you narrated the whole thing, it was almost like creating the visual in front of us. So I'm sure you're very good at that. So are we going to get a series or a movie based on your book in the recent future?
Thank you for the question. Thank you for the appreciation as well. Um, of course, again, another stupid childhood dream. Um, I grew up loving Harry Potter. I grew up loving Lord of the Rings. Why can't we have our own IPs, our own Indian good, awesome fictional content, which could be made into entire series, big IPs, and help our stories travel the world? That's one of the ways you can leverage the soft power of the country, our culture, our history as well. I hope genuinely this becomes something. Because the trailer went viral just yesterday, I have been getting DMs, messages from people from Bollywood, from the industry. I'm a screenwriter as well, so I know a lot of all of these people. Um, you know, right now, Bollywood is going through a bit of a midlife crisis, I would say. But I genuinely hope that someone somewhere out there who's a visionary with really deep pockets would genuinely like to bet on this story. Thank you so much.
Indeed, wishing you all the very best for that.
Thank you.
And with your storytelling skills, both oratory as well as written, we have never had a chance to understand how your screenplay writing would be, but I'm sure that is also amazing. But good luck to you on this journey. And I think somebody please record this, that we are giving feedback that we want movies to come out of this book. Maybe that would be helpful. But Divyansh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Delhi Literature Festival, for giving this opportunity to me to talk about this book. You can tell your own thank you.
Thank you so much. Again, this was really fantastic. After the storm and everything, so many people showed up here. A lot of people are from Instagram followers as well. I ran into a few outside as well. Um, I just love talking about Mahabharat. I just love talking about these stories and sharing these stories with people. And yeah, I'm genuinely certain that if you pick this book, you're gonna have a blast. That's all I can say. Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
Thank you
you,
so much,
Divyansh.
Divyansh, and wishing you all the best.